Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. It is I, Jesse Milestone, coming to you on this Friday with both good news and bad news.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
Where people were just walking around, just jizzing force all over the place. He looks like he has been drinking soy from his mother's teat. Wrap yourselves in, guys, because we are gonna get mean!
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky!
Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. My name is Jesse Milestone, your God Empress, and this is meant to offend. So if you're offended, good! And for those of you who have yet to experience a Meant to Offend or forgot what this shtick is all about, well, Meant to Offend is simply where I tell you what I think about something and don't care whether I'm politically correct about it. It's usually something that you're supposed to be politically correct about, and I don't care. So if that offends you, I don't fucking care. Did I say that enough? Anyway, where were we? Okay, so who's lying to you? You probably want to know. You're probably like, please, Jesse, tell me. Well, a lot of fucking people. A lot of people are lying to you. I mean, look around the goddamn world. It is broken as shit. Misinformation reigns supreme. Any asshole can just crown themselves king of their own little shit world and be like, this is how facts work. And everyone's like, oh, okay, that's how facts work now. Fuck gravity. I'll just jump off this cliff. Oh my God. Easy way to lose followers, by the way. Don't recommend them to do those things. I don't know this from experience. I'm just making a suggestion. My point is like, I'm getting to the point where I feel like, I don't know, fucking ancient Rome was probably more enlightened than we are today. Although interesting parallel, right? Interesting parallel, because you had this thing in ancient Rome, like you had during a lot of other emperors, empires throughout history and whatnot, where the narrative is very important. The people in charge care very much what you think. So back in ancient Rome, like there was this popular thing to declare yourself the Messiah, the Judaic Messiah, and get killed for it, because I don't know, I guess people did it for kicks. It gave your life meaning or purpose to feel like, oh, you were destined for something greater and that people actually gave a shit about you. Cool, they got killed. It happened. Oh my God, you believe something different? Die. Hey, the guy that like most people actually believe was the Messiah, he got killed too. Also, funnily enough, in spite of, enough people getting on board that's now still a major world religion, like the major world religion, billions of people still disagree, don't believe he was the Messiah, and have murdered each other for gajillions of years. I personally don't give a shit. I'm a Jewish person, but religion doesn't really factor into my daily life, so. Anyway, the point is, anybody can call themselves a god. That doesn't make their ideology right, and it doesn't make the people who blindly follow them excused from all the bullshit they do in the name of their Lord and Savior. This is not a scathing indictment of religion either, by the way, because, follow deities or religious leaders or ideologies or whatever, but not blindly. Not blindly. And be wary of people who ask you to be more outraged than the situation calls for. So I'm looking at this Mike Richards story. Are you familiar, guys? You've been following Jeopardy. So this whole thing happened where they were like, we're gonna have all these celebrity co-hosts and we'll pick one of them probably who did good to be the host. And after all that, they were like, fuck celebrity co-hosts. We're just gonna use this guy who's already the executive producer of the show because we didn't really like anybody else. Okay, seems like a little shady, like a little sketch, but okay. I don't know. People are saying like he's the guy who produced Alex Trebek, so he's kind of like him. Whatever. Not produced from the beginning and whatnot, but like was producing Alex Trebek, so it was like a sense of things. Anyway, words. And then it turns out, I mean, probably because everyone's angry because, apparently it's racist not to pick LeVar Burton, because as long as there was a black person in the running and they didn't get chosen, it's obviously racism. We have to find a reason to cancel Mike Richards. So easy to find, guys. This guy's a producer of game shows and shit. He clearly has a track record of saying terrible, awful things, like occasionally referring to women as hoes and sluts in the terms of a booth hoe or a booth slut, like somebody who hangs around the booth at a con, like a colloquial term that you use for people. Oh, apparently he used slurs too, slurs for the mentally disabled and little people. Oh my God, he probably called them midgets and retards. Fucking cancel him. Fucking cancel me. I just said it. And look, I'm not saying that this guy's an awesome dude. Apparently he was involved in some like hush money for some woman who got fired for getting pregnant and stuff. I don't know. I don't really care. The bottom line is being an asshole, or not being an asshole rather, has never been a prerequisite to have a job. And well, I don't know. Maybe it is now. Maybe that explains why there's a bunch of blue-haired psychos sitting at home unemployed who have all this fucking time to cancel people. But guess what? So what if he said some shitty things here and there? Did he grope? I mean, we're at the point, like, the Me Too movement started, like, let's cancel people who grope chicks back in the day, back before they knew it was their right to say no. And now it's like, oh, let's cancel people back in the day who didn't think to be a little more sensitive to the women that they might have been around or who might have heard their podcast eventually. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. It is not a crime to be an asshole, but these people want you to think it is. That's what I learned by looking into this, by specifically starting with the headline that Apple News wanted me to read, and then diving in further from there when I noticed something really particular, right? This really interesting thing about the outrage they wanted to sell me about Mike Richards. I'm supposed to hate this guy. I'm supposed to despise him. I'm supposed to want to cancel him and think, how could anybody want him to be the host of Jeopardy? But you can't even fucking quote him on one single offensive thing he said, except like literally the booth hoe, booth slut thing. And I had to go all the way to the Associated Press to find that shit. And that, again, it was like, wow, that's a fucking stretch. Because like I've called like dudes my hoes in that context. Like, I think you're really reaching on the sexism there, but okay. What do I know? I'm just a woman whose feelings about how men treat me are obviously irrelevant in the greater scheme of the conversation about the treatment of women, because as long as other men tell me that it's sexist, then I should fucking believe them. I don't fucking care. This is retarded. I said it again. Fucking cancel me. The point is that Mike Richards might be a dick. Okay. He might be a womanizer in his spare fucking time. Guess what? Still not a crime. Still not a crime. As long as you're not raping people or, you know, taking advantage of them and shit. Like, it's not a crime to be an asshole. Don't be one. I'm not endorsing assholery. I'm often am one. I mean, I'm wearing a fucking shirt that says no one cares about your fifis right now. I am frequently one. I'm not endorsing, though, necessarily assholery. I'm just saying it's not a fucking crime. No one's arrested me for it yet. God knows they've tried to cancel me for it, but they ain't arrested me for it because they fucking can't. If they could, God damn it, they would have. But again, that's what they're trying to convince you that he's such a bad guy, and they've got to do it with their language. He used language mocking. He didn't even say fucking slurs. Mocking Asians and Jews. Well, I'm a fucking Jew. Hit me with it. Come on, hit me with your best goddamn shot. The funniest Holocaust jokes I've ever heard. I heard from Israelis, for fuck's sake. I'm not afraid. Print it. Tell me. But you won't. Because you know that if you do, that if you tell me what Mike Richards actually said that was so terrible, you're not going to get the rise out of me that you need to go fucking cancel him and make him part of your news cycle for the next 3 goddamn days until somebody else does something more egregious to make you clutch your pearls fucking tighter. You didn't print it because it's not fucking real. And by the way, right, I know, yes, the mainstream media swings one way and spins one slant to you. This is not exclusive to them, though. And this is the point I want to drive at later that's really, really important. So stay with me on this because it is really, really important that we get to the overarching point here, right? So they're selling you this false outrage. When they say something egregious, they print the shit out of it. That little, you know, you get your little censored marks and whatnot, but oh God, they quote that ever. They want to know exactly, they want you to know exactly. They have the screenshots of the tweet. They've got, you know, the transcript of the video, whatever it is. They've got it in your fucking face because they know if it's that incendiary, that horrifying, that shocking, you will go, oh my God, and you will be unnecessarily upset, basically, because, so great, you choose not to share this information with me when it's fucking benign, so I don't have to clutch my pearls over this, but you want me to be upset and angry when it's something extreme. Exactly, because then you can spin the shit you don't say, you know, oh, the mockery of the Asians and the Jews, the slurs for the little people and the retarded people, and you're trying to get me, again, riled up, outraged, so you can sell me whatever comes next. Cancel Mike Richards. Why? I don't know, because whoever is in the media decided collectively they really, really had a hard-on for Aaron Rodgers or LeVar Burton, and or were really touched by how hard Aaron Rodgers worked for the role, and like fucking want to give it to one of them instead. So I don't care what the reason is, but the point is, when someone sells you that outrage, when they want to get you more worked up over something than the situation demands, it's because they're trying to misdirect you. That is what they want out of you. And that is what brings me again to this next thing. It does not matter what side you think you're fighting on, what side you think you're fighting for, what side the people feeding you the ideology say they're fighting on or for, or whether or not they even know what it is they're doing. When people want you to buy outrage and they want you to buy their point of view and they cannot handle, this is the key, cannot handle when you question that point of view, right? That is when it becomes problematic. I don't give a shit what, look, some people are right. Some people's ideologies are good. Some people are teaching you good things, but you should always question it. The only difference between me right now telling you what to do and things and anybody else telling you what to do and the things they want you to think is that I think I'm right, but I also don't think you should just blindly accept my word for it. I think you should do what I'm saying and go vet everything, question everybody. I've heard stories about people who run Facebook groups for their channels, and somebody asked a question, legitimately just wanted to know, and it was the wrong question, and they got the boot. So this is the shit that goes on out in sometimes in communities that you think are fighting for the things that you want to fight for, right? But if they can't handle, if you can't handle, I can't handle being questioned, then fuck me. Fuck them. Fuck anybody who can't have that dialogue. Because guess what I do? When I'm confronted with somebody of this level of extremism who can't handle being questioned, who's so goddamn certain that they're right, that they're just going to pound me into the goddamn ground when I try to talk to them, when I leave that interaction, the first thing I do is think about whether they might have been right. I entertain that possibility. I go down that rabbit hole. I follow that train of thought and play devil's advocate against myself. Until I, usually ultimately in that find some more nuance to whatever I'm thinking of or whatever my perspective is on it. And I want to really dig it out and understand. Somebody is this convinced that they're right. I'm equally convinced that they're wrong. Well, I should at least entertain their point of view. And if you come to me and you're like, you're dead ass wrong, Jesse, and you can fucking tell me about it without calling me, without starting in with you're an idiot and you're a moron, listen to let me tell you how you're wrong, because I do not fuck with that shit. I do not play into that shit because that's you already telling me you're not going to listen to me, right? But I will tell you right now, I don't necessarily think I'm right about any fucking thing. There's a couple things here and there. There's like fact-based things, like certain material things and how to do fencing that I probably am more right on than people who don't know fencing. But in general, I'm very open to being questioned and challenged, and you should seriously question anybody who isn't. And that's it. That's my take for you today. That's my thought for you today. This really, go read about it. Check it out, the Mike Richards stuff, right? And then go back and look at other outrage. See if I'm wrong, right? Find. I'm sure there are counterexamples that exist, but look at what's highlighted, what's in the what's being promoted on the search engines, etc. Which types of articles, which types of language, and it doesn't matter whether they're right or they're left. This isn't about right or left. That's the big thing. Like, get out of that mentality. This is not a fight of right or left. This isn't a fight of the progressives and the conservatives, or an ideological struggle between two different moralities. This is people who want to control the narrative, have it one way, maintain power, be petty and small, or people who are willing to say, I don't know, let's all actually talk to each other, listen to each other, realize that it is possible to inhabit a world where we don't all think the same thing. Because think about that, right? Just imagine if the world became the world that some of these ideologues are peddling to you, even the ones that maybe you agree with, right? There's a reason that I supported the candidate I supported in the last election. I'm not going to talk about who because it doesn't fucking matter. But the point is, I wanted somebody who was more moderate. It didn't matter whether they lined up with my personal ideologies. We need to understand that this is a nation, a world full of people with multiple ideologies, with multiple points of view, and more than one can be right at the same time. And we need to find the places in which they overlap and intersect in positive ways, and the places in which we can just fucking live and let live, and not constantly try to force something down everyone else's throat. That's the fight we're fighting. It's the fight between choice and a forced way of living. Because guess what? Half the people you think are fighting for you and you think are saying the things that you want to hear are just fighting for an equally restrictive world, an equally rigid narrative, an equally completely cowed way of thinking. To follow the leader, follow the narrative, buy whatever you're sold. It's no different. One or the other. If they're asking you for uniformity, if they're asking you for to think the same way, to believe the same things, to want the same things, if they're blanket rejecting anything based on button words, certain terms, if they get triggered, look for people getting triggered. They're not all on the left. Not all the snowflakes fall on the left, right? People who get triggered, avoid those fucking people. If you cannot be challenged on your perspective is not worth being entertained. And that's it. That's what I got. That's my advice. That's my whatever. And if you think I'm full of shit, fuck you, I don't care. This is meant to offend. This is what I think. This is the entire point of this, is for me to tell you what I think. And if that has escaped you, then I go somewhere else, because this channel is clearly operating at a capacity that's beyond you. So that's what I got to say. If you're offended, fucking awesome. If not, this is probably the place for you. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. So just click the link tree and follow the links and follow the things, and go to LIVIT, because that's where I do the stuff. Mostly actually do that. Go to LIVIT, guys. I'm playing music there like 5 days a week. I'm live streaming there constantly. It's way more fun, and it treats me way better than YouTube. So if you've gotten all the way to the end of this video, it's probably because you actually like and care about my content. So consider downloading the LIVIT app and checking me out. My streams over there, because it's way more fun. And that's it. So, God Empress, out.